Ew. Brother,
Oh my god. I've started saying that ever since I watched Clueless for the first time in my 30s. Oh. I know.
Oh, did you watch Clueless? I love that movie.
It's so fucking good. It's so
yeah, it's
good.
Great.
So yeah, now I was going, as F. I'm like, what, 20, 30 years too late? But I'm saying I'm bringing it back.
It's never too late for Clueless.
Man, I'm at the opposite end. I haven't watched the film since I was like a small child.
1, it still holds up. And 2, iconic. But I was like, oh, is it going to be, like, how has it aged? Like, ooh, I always feel that way. Yeah. Had no problem. Wonderful.
Is that the incest one?
Yes, it is, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's like her half-brother?
It's like surely stepbrother.
Oh, maybe it is stepbrother.
Yeah,
so it's the one.
I'm surprised I never swung back around to it during my Jane Austen phase. Because it's based on Emma, right?
Yes, it is. It's based on one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually maybe not then, because the incest still out. Never coming back.
No, I think incest has aged well, actually.
You know what? What do you... Never mind.
You want to take that out of context?
I was just going to say, like, what do you think Game of Thrones did for incest? What do you think?
I don't know. It didn't portray it in, like, a good light, did it? It wasn't like, this is great.
Well, that's what I mean. It, like, brought... Oh, also, I'm going to move on. Also, I watched Spice World, the Spice Girls movie, went in being like, this is going to have aged badly. I bet there's... No!
Is it still good?
Fantastic.
I used to love that film.
Amazing.
Yeah. Little.
Alan Cummings being the straightest I've ever seen him, which is
oh my god,
yeah.
But like the gear is fighting its way out of him in that performance.
Really
it's like it's visibly hurting him to be that straight.
He like puts his hand on his hip and then quickly straightens out.
Have I told you both my Spice World, the Spice Girls movie story?
I don't think so.
When I went to see it I loved the Spice Girls when I was a kid. I loved Baby Spice. I was obsessed with Baby Spice.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
And I went to see the movie at the cinema, and then when it came to VHS, my dad said, it's out on VHS today, I'm going to go buy it on VHS. I must have said this before.
Again!
And he bought, there was a special edition tin version, because it was the 90s.
Oh my God.
And on the tin, there was one of the Spice Girls. And I said, can I have Baby Spice? And he got Jerry Halliwell, the horny man. And I cried.
Yeah, nah. It's not about Jerry.
Yeah.
It's not about
Jerry.
Tell you what, though.
Good movie, though.
I went into the movie being like, Sporty Spice is my babe. Scary Spice's outfits.
Iconic,
I fear she dressed the best in the movie. I feel like it was never going to be sporty, okay? So that was out the window. And I was like, well, Baby has some iconic looks, so it's probably going to be Baby. I think the garland has to go to Scary. Like she dresses iconic. You know, Scandal, well, not Scandal, but she's a bit of an asshole now. But they're all assholes now. But back then, me watching it, I was like, iconic. Those outfits, the buffalo platforms. I gotta stop. This fan needs to go away. Iconic.
Oh yeah, you just started fanning yourself, and I didn't even notice. You're right.
But yeah, so 2 movies. I was like, ooh, are these going to be Asian? No. They were great. Yeah.
Yeah, that is good to know.
And listener,
I might watch Clueless
there you
again.
go. Listener, do a back-to-back viewing of Clueless and the.
Is this going in? Oh, okay. Yeah, listener.
I mean, this is ideal cold open material.
Is this not going in? I'm editing, so it is going in.
Terribly sorry.
I think I'm having an existential crisis now because I can't remember who my favourite Spice Girl was, and this used to be integral to my identity at one point, like 30 years ago. So,
can you narrow it down? Like, was it 2 that you're getting confused between? Because for me, it was always Sporty or Baby, obviously, because everyone's Baby. But I liked Sporty. Also, she was giving Butch in the Spice World. I was living for it. I was like, this is iconic. So yeah, was it like 2 in particular for you?
All I can remember is playing dress up with my friend when we were 6, and she had to be posh because that was exactly who she was as a person. And the only other suitable outfit we had was sporty, so I had to be sporty, which I was fine with. So I guess I was defaulted to sporty, but I'm like,
she wasn't the one for you.
I don't remember.
Who did you want to be?
I don't remember. I don't remember whatsoever. I think I liked all of them. I think it was just always my vibe was like, I've always been a big fan of ensemble casts, clearly from quite early on. So
yeah. You know what, as well, in the movie, Posh is so fucking funny. Like, I was like, she's a comedy queen.
She's so deadpan.
Yeah. And, like, they all come out in their army gear, and she's in, like, there is nothing more cunty, more girly in this fucking world than a woman in high heels and a tube dress pulling it down as she, like, clumps down the pavement. Like, I fucking live for that shit. I was like, this movie has so... Oh, fair. God. It was just iconic. So she's like, pulling her skirt down and clumping along, and I was like, is this girlhood? Is this womanhood? God damn. Great movie. Anyway, yeah. Spice Girls. God. Video game when? Spice Girls when? Reunion?
There was a video game. There was a Spice Girls video game.
Oh my God. What?
Shut
on PS1.
What?
Google it immediately and look at the cover and you will regret your words and deeds.
Video game. Why? What does it look like?
What the fuck?
Yep, there it is. Listener, I assume this is staying in.
I actually love it. I think that is so fucking great. Oh my God. It's giving Bratz. Like, it's
really
giving
is.
Bratz with
But,
a big forehead. Okay, but Sporty looks fucking unhinged. But everyone else looks
sell any dolls, it's giving Bratz.
Like, oh my God, Baby and Victoria look the best. But yeah, I don't. They did Sporty really dirty. Scary doesn't look great either. I want to play this game.
They did Sporty really dirty, actually, now that I'm looking at this.
Gaming magazine, the home of queer geek culture, did a feature on this game on June 20th, 2019.
Fuck yeah! Gaming's great.
Yeah, I like them.
I want to play this game. I need to play this game.
Oh my God. The more I look at it, the better it gets.
Can't believe you've never heard of this.
Oh God.
No.
And I thought I knew some like deep cut video games about things I was obsessed with as a kid, but no.
See, I'm a babe in the woods. I have no fucking clue. I need it. I kind of want this disc. eBay.
It's either going to be really expensive or really cheap. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I'm going to guess expensive.
It's either £200 or it's £10.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say £36 for a boxed copy.
I can get this Spice Girls, what is it called? Spice World Sony for £21.50.
Is that with box case and manual?
To be honest, I don't know if that were to oh no, it is in a box. Manual though?
Yeah.
Oh, the manual's in there. The manual's in there.
The manual's
21 for a PS1 game? Yeah,
that's good.
Buy it now. Buy it now.
She's added to basket. Buy it now. Buy it now. Buy it now. That's not the first time I've bought something on the podcast.
Put a bid on. Do a bid. Yeah, but an eBay purchase feels for some reason bigger than a Steam purchase. Doing a bit of eBay while podcasting.
Casual eBaying. Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it for now. I'm coming back for you, Spice World, the game on PlayStation Uno.
PlayStation Uno.
Uno.
And welcome back to the Indieventure podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Jones, joined by my two former colleagues and current friends, Rachel Watts.
Hello.
And Liam Richardson.
Hi.
And if you listen closely, you might be able to hear just a faint sizzling sound as at least 2 out of 3 of us sit here in the 3 weeks of British summer in the UK in houses that were definitely designed for insulation rather than dealing with 26-degree weather, which is what it is currently where I am. But that's just one way of knowing that we're halfway through 2025 already.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
dear God.
I don't like that.
So if you ignore literally everything else going on in the world and the industry and just focus on the game releases over the past 6 months, I think we can all agree that it's actually been a pretty solid first half of the year. Don't think about the event or the event or the event. Just focus on the games. It's been so fun. But of course, we'd say that because if you ignore the fact that Nintendo recently cheated their way back to the top of the charts with the Switch 2 re-release of a game they brought out in 2017, the three big Game of the Year contenders to emerge so far are all indie flavoured to some extent or another.
Ding, ding, ding! Yes!
So, she went there.
She went there!
She did. So sitting at the top of Metacritic right now for this year are Clair Obscur Expedition 33, a quintessential AA game. Blueprints, a solo dev-helmed indie that feels AA mainly because it's so damn long. And Split Fiction, which... Look, do you want to be the one to tell Joseph Fares that an EA publishing deal means he's not an independent creator? Because I bloody don't. Thank you very much.
I've done that on this podcast.
Yeah, I know. So mark off dubious definition of indie on your bingo cards now, regular listeners. And that's not all, because now that GTA 6 is officially ruled out a 2025 launch, it turns out that a ton of studios had some really cool-looking games that have fallen down the back of the sofa that they've been able to put to use, filling the gaping void that was this year's late summer and autumn release schedule. So today, that's what we're doing, rounding up our favourite indies of January through June 2025 and looking ahead at the titles we're most excited for in July until December. Look, it's too hot to bullshit, and honestly, being able to do this topic every summer is a gift. So let's just get into it. Let's do the clip show. Roll the clip show. Come on, let's do it.
Ooh.
I really do think the listeners need to know that Rebecca is dying right now. It's so hot where she is. Like, the fact she's even hosting is incredible. So, fair play, Rebecca. I hope you survive this.
Claps to Rebecca.
Me too. Yeah, a little peek behind the curtain. We usually do record all of these in one take, but I have already brought in my diva demand for a mid-episode break.
Yes!
So that I can get some water and maybe stand in front of a freezer for 10 minutes. We genuinely do. We just sit here and gab for 2 hours non-stop, and we love it, but you'll know if that happens this episode because I'll die. So...
Oh, God. I love this underlying tension of, like, you're just might just die at some point.
Yeah, there's a genuine risk to my health and safety. And
It's like that time I drank an energy drink and my heart rate spiked.
Oh, yeah.
And we just kept checking in throughout the episode.
Yes. That was like the closest we've ever been to absolute cinema on this podcast. So I think that
true.
It was art.
Yeah.
It was art.
Mission Impossible.
So
I mean, what's it got on us? Nothing.
He thinks he does his own stunts. Has he ever drank a Monster and recorded a bloody podcast? Yeah, I think not.
Ain't got nothing on you, babes.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Or is that because I'm nice to my wives?
Ooh.
Is that too far?
I mean, it's not exactly like a searing hot take, but yeah.
No, it's like a bit of an early 2000s take, isn't it?
It's like,
the cat has got in my room. I just need to get her out. Is that okay? Because she's going to stomp on my laptop. Give it to
sure.
Sorry! Stomp, stomp. She needs to be heard and seen.
Stomp. Yeah, to start with, we're just going to do a quick recap. I think it will be like fairly quick. I think we've talked about most, but not all of these games on previous episodes. But what's on your Game of the Year watch list, everybody? What are we thinking might take the gong this year?
Ooh.
Personally, as well as like, not just at an industry-wide level, because I'm definitely going to talk about some that are just for me.
So my favourite game of the year is Blueprints. Jokes. So I am going to speak about some games already spoken about already, like Rebecca says, but there's one game I've played this week, actually, in anticipation for this episode, and it has rocketed up my list, so I want to do a talk about it. So this is a game called Shotgun Cop Man, because it's me, and of course I'm talking about a game called Shotgun Cop Man. This is by Dead Toast Entertainment. It's on PC and Switch currently. Dead Toast Entertainment, you might know they did a game called My Friend Pedro about 5-6 years ago, which I didn't like. I did not like that game. I thought it was a little bit too complicated in its control scheme. I remember you could like do flips around rooms and ride on a skateboard, and it was very mechanically complex to actually play the thing. So I was interested in Shotgun Cop Man because it seemed similar in that you play a character who is shooting things in tightly designed levels, but they seem to have scaled things back quite a bit. So to give you a bit of an overview of what this is, you play as Shotgun Cop Man, who's a sort of like tic-tac, like a buff tic-tac looking guy. And your whole goal is to arrest Satan. And at the start of every world, it zooms right in on Shotgun Cop Man And even though the game is like a flat 2D, very visually simple game, when it zooms in on him, it becomes a very highly detailed 3D model. And he'll say, "Stop right there, Satan. I'm going to arrest you." And then Satan will say, "Fuck you, shotgun cop man," and will swear at him and fly off. And the game is it's a platformer. So it's a platformer / shooter. But the sort of the special thing about it is that you can't jump. You have to blast yourself off the floor using your shotgun. So the game is controlled with a mouse on PC. So the main sort of crux of the platforming of it is you have to aim with your mouse below you and then right click to get a big jump with a shotgun, or left click to do a little jump with a handgun. So you're swinging the mouse left and right constantly to kill enemies and propel yourself around the levels. However, you only have 3 shotgun blasts and about 8 pistol blasts. So basically, your jumping has a limit, and it refreshes by landing on the ground. And you can hover in the air by shooting, and it'll keep you suspended. And it's a little fiddly for maybe 2 levels, but once you get it, it's a very, very like inventive way of moving through these spaces, and it really brings this sense of flow and momentum that I was quite surprised from a game called Shotgun Cop Man. However, what I really love about this is that visual simplicity I mentioned before is maybe the best thing they could have done for the follow-up to My Friend Pedro, because the game is so visually simple that it's incredibly readable. You always know who you are. You are the tic-tac known as Shotgun Cop Man. The dark edges are the level, and the red blobs are the demons that you're trying to kill. And what this allows them to do is be like really, really inventive with what they threw at you across these, I think it's 9 worlds with 17 levels in each. And it's not a long game. I blitzed through this in about 4 hours. It's one of those classic 4-hour indies, as Rebecca calls them. But the experimentation on display here, there's not an inch of fat on it. It's so lean. There's not any ideas in here that feel miserable or a little bit like, oh, I didn't love that. That was a bit fiddly. Everything feels like they were able to experiment fast because they weren't trying to build like this visually rich game. They were just like, what's fun about this? So there's puzzle elements in here. There's anti-gravity. There are really inventive boss designs that are very, very funny. And it just ended up being one of the best platformers I think I've played in literal years, because not only is that basic movement so different and unique, but the amount of ideas in it, it almost has like a breathless variety to it. It's really, really wonderful. So yeah, Shotgun Cop Man, a real surprise for me that I really, really ended up falling in love with.
It looks so good. Also, Satan has a butt chin.
He does have a butt chin. Yeah. And literally all he says is, "Fuck you, Shotgun Cop Man." It's the only line of dialogue he has in the whole game.
He's given Hot Squidward, what's the meme?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It has that like classic SpongeBob thing of zooming right in, people being like really hyper realistic. It like I say, it does that. Oh, the best thing about it, I've got to say this bit because it cracks me up constantly. When you get hit, your heart flies out your body, and if you grab your heart, you go back to full health. But if you get hit while your heart's out your body, it zooms right in on Shotgun Cop Man, and it goes, "I die," and it goes really sad. His little lip just quivers.
Oh,
and it's so
no, don't be sad, Shotgun Cop Man.
So is this like is it like a precision platformer? Like, do you have to be good at platforming?
I'd say it's not as challenging as I was expecting. I think you can blitz through it. Each level has like 3 challenges, which is kill all the enemies, do it within a certain amount of time, and don't get hurt. And then a 4th one for do all 3 in one run. So you can get through it really fast if you're like not bothered about the challenges. But I got most of the challenges without even trying. So if it doesn't feel very difficult, it doesn't feel like a Meat Boy kind of challenge. It's quite forgiving. And like I say, if you get hit once, if you grab your heart again, if you keep doing that, basically you can blitz through it. And the checkpoint is great.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
You can. It has checkpoints throughout. Like even when you fire like defeating a boss, you get halfway through its health bar and die. You start with half its health bar already gone. So yeah, it's very, very forgiving.
I just love the way you're like, I'm watching the trailer, moving around the environment, like even to like boost yourself like across like a pit of spikes, you fire at the wall, and so the momentum, it's very momentum based, and that is so cool.
Very momentum based, yeah.
Man, and did you arrest Satan?
Yes, I did. To spoil the incredible narrative of Shotgun Cop Man, it does end with you arresting the devil. Yeah.
What? Why does he want to arrest him? Is that
no fucking? It's never explained.
Yes, that was so fucking good.
He's just trying to arrest Satan. I guess maybe he just fancied doing it.
Yeah, right. It's like what is an easily recognizable like universal cultural reference for just the bad guy, and every queer gamer out there is like, well, hold on a minute, let's hear the man out.
Yeah. Does Shotgun Cop Man fall into ACAB? Much to discuss.
Yeah, I felt the same about my friend Pedro. I honestly thought that they were, and I bounced off it, like, well, pun intended, because I just felt it was supposed to be like style and trying to be like, ooh, we're cool and over gameplay, which sometimes I don't mind, but if I'm not gelling with the gameplay, like, obviously that's not going to be for me. So I'm happy here that they've got their sense of humor, but also it's like on top of like really tight gameplay. Like that is really great.
It's like it's one of those games where it feels like a response to the last one in a really like obvious way. Like they wanted to make a game like this, like a fun movement shooter, and that's what they've now done. And by stripping it back, like I say, like, My Friend Pedro was a full 3D, quite nice looking game even back then, and this one is very, very different and very basic in comparison. But it honestly sings. It has more of a sense of style because it is so simplistic.
Yeah. And there's more, like, My Friend Pedro is all about parkour, but this is like shotgun parkour, which is better.
Yeah, it's obviously better. Yeah, absolutely.
Shotgun parkour should be its own genre.
I like shotgun parkour. I'm surprised that's probably already a game on Steam, shotgun parkour.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Shotgun parkour.
Oh, it's
I'm putting it into Steam. I'm not Googling it.
AI-generated hentai game.
Oh my god.
No, nothing came up. Nothing came up.
Right. Well, there you go. You're welcome, developers who are listening. That's my contribution to the industry.
Don't just give away hot IP like that,
God.
Liam, please.
Beep that. Quack that out.
Quack that out.
Quack it out.
Quack it out.
Please.
I wasn't going to play this game, and now I want to play this game. Fuck.
Nice. I played it in 2 days.
Add to wish list. Damn.
Lovely little thing.
And there's a demo. Yes.
Nice.
Who next? Who next with their game?
Shall we, Rachel, tackle the blue elephant in the
room? Yes, absolutely. You take us there, girl, and I'll chip in.
Yeah, so I think I've noticed, because I do lurk on the Indieventure, I nearly said the wrong name there, the Indieventure Discord. That's how hot it is. I've gone back in time. I noticed on the Discord people were saying like it'd be interesting to have some check-ins with blueprints, and like I do want to check in with it today because genuinely I think for me it is still, as it stands, pretty easily my game of the year so far. But also, like, it is such a long game. I'm at something around the 100-hour mark at this point. And I know that Rachel has kind of had her own journey with Liam. We know what you think.
I'm not. Yeah. No, don't even look at me. Don't check in with me. This is your moment, my friend.
I'm just gonna cover your part of the screen. Yeah. So it's I'm not gonna kind of recap a lot about blueprints here because I think we've got a whole episode dedicated to it, and plugging in my own podcast, go back and listen. We literally did a whole episode. But yeah, I think that I have reached the point that everyone seems to reach with blueprints where I have some frustrations with the RNG. But for me, that hit about 90% of the way through what I think is going to be the total game. I don't know if I got lucky with the RNG or if I just really clicked with the way that it like wanted you to explore. But I still, even though I'm at the point now where I feel like I have like 2 things left to do to see basically like, if not everything, then the real ending, to get the kind of closure that I want on the main narrative. And trying to make that happen has been tough. The last few runs I've done have still been enjoyable, and I think that's what keeps it for me as my top sort of game of the year candidate personally, is that I'm still enjoying being in the house. I'm still enjoying kind of like using the knowledge that I've built up over like around 100 hours to interact with this space and explore it and understand it. It is getting tough, and especially just because it's summer and I don't want to be under a hot laptop.
I forgot you were playing it on a laptop. Yeah.
I'm playing it on laptop. And to be fair, friend of the podcast, Mick, has been driving, I would say 80% of the last few run-throughs anyway. But it's just, life has taken us away from it for the last couple of weeks. But I'm kind of looking forward to the point of like having maybe a couple of weeks off and then going back and trying to do this final like push through the end game as well. So yeah, it turns out I really like architectural roguelikes. And that's what kind of got me more into roguelikes than I have been previously. And yeah, I just think it's unique and interesting, and I love anything that interacts with space in that way, and I still really love it, but just I want to open the blue door and find out what happened to my mum. I hope that's not too much of a spoiler for people. It's like vague enough to not spoil things for people who haven't got there yet, but those are my driving questions now. And I don't care about passing your exam, to be honest, is where I'm at. That's mentally where I'm at the moment.
Yeah.
So what about you, Rachel? I know that you also have check back games.
Yes. So I think for me it's still up there for one of my games of the year. It's not going to be my game of the year because it's one of those games where I love it so much but have a lot of conflicting feelings about it. I think it's definitely going to be one for the ages, if you could say that. Like, I think this is going to be someone's Obra Dinn. This is going to be like Golden Idol, The Witness,
100%.
Outer Wilds for sure. So I can respect the hell of it for that. But like, there's some aspects of it that I personally don't gel well with, and it's actually not the RNG. I love the RNG. Anything that requires me, any of the puzzles that require me to form the rooms, like I love. It's actually all this is a puzzles I actually don't like a lot. I don't like the dartboards. I don't like the clock tower. I didn't like any of the situations in which I was in a room and I had to solve something. I liked the emerging puzzle gameplay that came with the RNG. And when the puzzles just got really difficult, that's when I would kind of like click off, because I was just like, if it's like deck based, at least I can kind of work through it or at least start a new run. But with some of the puzzles, it's just, if you can't do it, you can't do it. So have fun with that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I loved most of the puzzles, but I definitely see why that would be like, your 50th dartboard is going to kind of suck if you don't like the dartboard puzzle.
Yeah, and I'm studying a lot about game design for reasons which you're not allowed to know. And I think it's a game which incorporates so many interesting conversations about puzzle design, but also it like does stuff really well, and it also doesn't do stuff very well. But like, that's fine. It's just that the stuff it doesn't do well, I don't gel with personally. But like friend of the podcast, Henry and Mick and Rebecca, like Henry's finished the game. Like I looked it up for him. I looked up threads.
Massive respect.
He like Animal Well, there's like a couple of different layers. We're pretty sure that the last layer is done. I keep looking up like the Discord and threads and stuff just to make sure. And he's around where everyone else is. I don't know if it's the end, but it's as far as anyone has gotten.
Oh, wow.
And I'm sure there's stuff he needs to do, but like it's... Yeah, he was like, you need to look this up for me. And I did. And I was like, there's one thread on Reddit which talks kind of about, people are still working on it. Like the people are still trying to, but he's basically done after, and it was the same as you, Rebecca. So he's like around 100 a bit hours. I think if, for those who have played Blueprints, and those who haven't, sorry, this won't mean anything. I stopped at the Sanctum Keys. I think for me, that was just a good place for me to stop. The game communicated to me that this is a place where you can stop. And I felt good about it. So that was around 60 to 70 hours in. But yeah, I think to be my game of the year, I think if you would have asked me as I was playing, I would have been like, this is the best, like one of the best games I've ever played. And now with more distance from it, there are some aspects of it which I actively don't like, and it sucks, but that's what you get with big games. So it's cool that it's like, I love this, but also don't like this. Yeah. Instead of it being like, that was fine.
Yeah. Can you possibly play anything for 100 hours and enjoy every second of it equally? I doubt.
Not me.
I doubt it, really.
I think it wouldn't. I don't think people would stick with it that long if it didn't have its abrasive elements. I think there's that's part of the appeal of it, is the abrasiveness.
Well, that's puzzles. Yes. Puzzles are conflicts. Absolutely. You can't have a puzzle game without friction and conflict.
I love the way
but the balance of that, that's where Blueprints, I think. The balance of... Yeah. But this is... I could go on with this for ages. But again, it like... Making a puzzle easier, does that undermine what it's trying to communicate. Should puzzle games be made approachable, or should they be difficult because they're art? And I think that's a really interesting conversation, because when you're approaching something as like, this is not for me, is that the game's fault for being like, well, you know, like Souls-likes, it's like, well, only a certain couple of people can play this, or should all games be accessible to everyone? And puzzle games always have this problem. Yeah. How difficult do you make a puzzle game? Do you make it really easy with hint systems and approachability, or do you go really hardcore and you end up being something like The Witness, Outer Wilds, like Golden Idol, well, Oberdin, less extent, but like these hardcore puzzlers. Yeah. And I think that's a really interesting conversation. Blueprints definitely fits in the latter. Like, this game doesn't tell you shit, but it also does in weird ways. Yes. But like, it's just it's an interesting conversation, but like.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm getting with a lot of the things that are in the Game of the Year conversation right now. It's like, there is that friction, right? There's a lot of people saying the same things about Clair Obscura, about Split Fiction, saying like, oh, it's got, you know, this tension between something it does really well and something it doesn't do so well, and like a thing that challenges the player. I feel like we're seeing that as the theme that's emerging for 2025, is that the popular games are challenging players in some way, and they're kind of hitting that slightly mid-length. They're not like games that you're going to play forever and ever, but they're not 10-20 hours, you know. So I just think it's, you know I love looking at the trends in the industry, and that is one thing that stood out to me, is that these three that are all tipped for Game of the Year so far have got that, you know, there are the highs and the lows within like a 40, 50, 60 hour experience, and you've got that kind of like, it's not meant to appeal to everyone, and so it's really sunk its teeth into the conversation because of that, which I find, I mean, like, I don't, you know, I do and I don't love Blueprints. I do love so much about it, but as you say, there are things about it where just like, sometimes the thought of sitting and actually playing it now is just like so tiring to me. But then sometimes I'm just so keen to jump in, but it's interesting to me that it occupies that space, because I haven't felt like this about a game for a long time. I've very much been either like, I love it and I just want to be playing it, or I hate it and I just want to sack it off. It's like, it's doing some interesting things to my brain. And like our respective partners, Mick and Henry, have both absolutely, it is like ignited something behind the eyes. Mick has been so obsessed with it, and which is really nice, because he hated Outer Wilds, and you know, I think it's really interesting to look at the way those kind of interact and what works and what doesn't as well. So anyway, we shouldn't make this the Blueprints episode, because I'm sure it's going to come up at least one more time this year before
absolutely will. Can I ask it? And I know me talking has the energy of the drunk uncle at a wedding, and everyone's panicking because he's got the microphone, but I am, as always, joking about how much I dislike this game. I did get to room 46, and it's probably the game that's made me feel the most of any this year, and I mean that complimentary. I'm just curious, now that both of you have experienced it for over 100 hours, which no one here expected the game to be that long pre-release, right?
No, I really thought it'd be 20 hours long.
I'm like, I think a lot of people who play this, now that they know it's as long as it is because it's public, you know, look at the Steam reviews and everyone's played over 100 hours.
Yeah.
Two questions. One, do you think you would have approached it differently knowing it was as long as it was when we played it pre-release? And two, do you think that this game should be played as like intensely as you two played it in a short period of time? Or do you think actually it's more of something that you keep revisiting over the course of like a year?
Well, for one thing, I'm so glad that I thought it was 20 hours long.
Really?
Because I think that my mindset going in was like, it's the way that when you think about any sort of like endeavor, anything like exercise, like learning a language, it's like, if you have a small manageable goal to start with and then you keep extending past that, it's actually the best way to approach things. So I'm really glad that, because I, you know, was playing it pre-release, I was playing, you know, preview code and demos and stuff. I think it was good, like mentally as well, as an exercise for me to kind of think it was going to be 20 hours and then be like, oh, I guess it's another 20 hours when I got to the end and realized it wasn't the end. And then that's kind of kept extending and extending. I feel like maybe I got the best experience you can get out of this game. For that reason, I couldn't have invested knowing going in that it was going to be 100 hours.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm the opposite. I one of the reasons why I stopped playing was I didn't know how far I had to go. I think games, it's interesting. I'm very much someone who, you know, when I'm playing a video game, I like kind of like knowing how far I am through it, or not to the point where I look it up on how long to beat. I just kind of like knowing the pace and cadence of a game. And usually it's
I'm
stuff
the same.
storytelling or puzzle games. Like it's like the crescendo, you're getting up to something. With a story, it's the same. With Blueprints, I just felt like I thought I'd reached the bottom of a swimming pool and actually found I was in the Mariana Trench. Like it was very much just like, and I criticized the game on that. And this is not because like it has different endings and it's like, oh, you can just stop whenever you want. I don't think the game's pacing's that good, but also when you're dealing with a game with puzzles on RNG, that's really difficult. But at the same time, I think goals and motivations should have been more of a thing. Like I just feel like whenever I did there was like loads of huge goals, and I think if there were like little things that I could have done to make me feel good about my progression, there's story beats, there's like difficult puzzles, but if there was something maybe with the deck building system or like the room building system, like if there were just ways just to make those breadcrumbs a little bit more delicious instead of having like big revelation. I think I would have stuck with it a bit longer, but like the story as well, for me, it's fine, but it didn't pull me through. With a lot of video games, I will just play it for like, if the story's good enough, I will play it because the story's good. The story's great here and it's okay, but it was the act of finding out the story is better, in my opinion, than the story itself.
Yeah. I would agree
I
with
see
that.
what you're saying. I can't disagree with anything you're saying here, even though we've had slightly different experiences of it. I think that you are bang on the money in every respect.
But again, if I had gone in, if Blueprints had come out now and someone was like, it's 100 hours, I'd have been like, I'm not playing that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's give and take. I don't know what I would have done.
Let us know, listeners. I'd like to know what listeners think about that question as well, if they've played it or thinking about playing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is definitely a conversation starter.
Writing a review after only reaching room 46, my review for Thinky is now invalid. I've been thinking about whether to rewrite it and reapproach it because that's not the game.
That is interesting.
I've been thinking about this, maybe re-headlining it to something a bit different because I did not know the game I was playing at that point. And so it's the only review I've ever written in my life and ever edited as a like ex-reviews editor as well, where I've been like, this review is not accurate because of the game. So I've been thinking about that a lot. And maybe I'll go back. Don't have the time, but maybe one day. Who cares? It's just me who cares. No one else cares. But I'm just like, well, I care. Maybe I should.
It would be interesting to read your take on it, like a second review, a review of the review. I don't know. Be interested.
Back then, I mean, the review, I was like, this game is great. This game's amazing. And now I'm like, bitter, twisted. 100 hours later, old man, long beard,
what did I know?
Wrinkles.
Back when I was young and fresh-faced and starry-eyed, and I thought that room 46 was the goal.
God. Yeah, I think it was a bit further than that, but it was nothing. I always say this, babe in the woods. Didn't know what I was doing.
Baby Spice.
A young child. Baby Spice in the woods. Baby Spice. They were in the woods as well in Spice World. Gonna have to keep that in now because it's a throwback. Okay, so my turn.
It is your turn.
I'll make mine quick because I have talked about almost all the games that I want to chat about before. So I'm just going to go mine in chronological order. So Citizen Sleeper 2, I think that might be in the running for my game of the year.
Yeah, that's my number 2,
Liam, you loved it as well.
Yep.
Your number 2, Citizen Sleeper 2.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, Jesus. So, and I think, especially as I have another sci-fi game on this list, Tease, which tackles a lot of the same reasons why I like Citizen Sleeper 2. And so briefly just going over, I can't remember what episode it is, but Citizen Sleeper 2 is the follow-up to Citizen Sleeper. You play as a cyborg human mind in a cyborg body called a sleeper. And in this game specifically, you are running away from a corporation that owns you, and there's also gangsters that think they own your body because you did work for them. Essentially, you're like, it's an RPG where you're rolling dice, like taking risks, taking on gig work while running away from multiple different people who kind of want you dead. So yeah, it's a great game because of that. But I think why it stuck with me months later is that I just do think there's a group of sci-fi games at the moment, The Alters being the one I'll talk about in a bit, which is very humanist. I really do like this kind of like, and I've talked about this before, a group of nobodies who are just surviving in like this interesting sci-fi hellscape, like post-capitalism, the collapse of capitalism, as the developer calls it. I just think it, as a sequel as well, it does everything that the first one had, maybe some weaknesses. It was quite easy. You could get your footing quite easily. This one, it's thrilling. It's just dangerous. You just feel a lot more vulnerable. I just felt like the first one was like a pat on the back, and this one, it was like standing, like it had a boot on my windpipe. Like I literally couldn't catch a break. And I think that's why I like Citizen Sleeper 2. It's like it finds the struggle in survival, and I don't know if a lot of sci-fi survival games really kind of do that. And it's definitely from like a transhumanist like perspective. Like I like what the game is going for. I like the themes, I like the characters. The gameplay is just a lot tighter. Yeah, is it my game of the year? I don't know, but it's definitely up there. It's 100% up there. Yeah, I had a really good time. I've been thinking about replaying it again, which I don't know if I will, but like I don't think about that about many games.
Yeah, you're not a big replayer of things generally, so that means like I still need to play this game, and that makes me very interested.
It's the writing, I think, for me as well. I just think the writing is, I'm not over it. Like when I normally take screenshots of games, it's like because something's pretty. Like I was taking screenshots of dialogue all throughout Citizen Sleeper 2. Like
Same.
Like I was book earring my favorite passages in a book. I was like,
the visual novel fan has entered the chat.
Yeah. I just think it's just so, I don't know, it's life affirming almost, if you want to get all lofty about it. But I just really liked it. And,
it is.
Yeah.
And one thing because I love this as well, and I agree with everything you've said. I can't add to anything you've said. I agree with everything. Just said the same thing twice there. That's why I don't write Citizen Sleeper. But one piece of criticism I saw levied against this, because I think we recorded our episode before reviews came out, and when I read a few reviews, there was quite a few people that were like, "Oh, it's a bit twee. It's very nice." And to that, I just want to say, yeah, like that's okay. Like I understand that fiction sometimes needs to be challenging, but also it's quite nice to have something that is so life affirming in such a dark, miserable world. And I don't mean our world, our world as well, but I actually meant the fiction of the game itself, but also our world that we live in.
Yes.
And I just think the way that this game approaches humanity and connection between people and what it means to be a person, this game does it beautifully. Both games do, but I thought the sequel did it a little bit better than the original. And
that's so interesting.
I just don't get that criticism. I don't agree with it. I just don't.
I do think a lot of people, maybe when it comes to sci-fi normally gets like associated with spectacle. Yeah. And so when you're dealing with a fantasy maybe as well, like a world where everything is like big and different, and like maybe people expected it to be more in line with other sci-fi where it's like character deaths and but it's very quiet sci-fi. That's how I would call it. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think they might be right. But it's not twee. But I just like that. Yeah, it wasn't so like it wasn't concerned with spectacle. Apart from some of the stations looked incredible. Like some of the artwork was great, but it wasn't in terms of like I'm making massive life choices. I'm a hero on a journey. It's not. These people are literally just trying to like live their lives, and so.
But I would argue that and I would say it does have moments that feel like a spectacle, but they're quiet and mundane, but rendered so beautifully through the prose that it feels bigger than like it might initially appear. Maybe.
Yeah, like just I've read this paragraph so many times of just the sleeper like waking up. I've done it in the first game as well, and it's just such an interesting moment of like someone's consciousness entering like a body that isn't theirs. Oh,
it's incredible. I love this game.
Has it talked its way into number one? I don't know.
A quick bonus recommendation, because I've got to mention it. This just reminded me of a novel I read a few years ago, so I looked it up really quick. And there's a novel called Bellwether by Connie Willis, which is it sort of like was part of a movement in the 90s of social science fiction.
Oh yeah.
And it's giving me really similar vibes. So the idea, it's got the same sort of like no big spectacle, no like big dramatic moments. It's about a a researcher who's looking into how to predict pop cultural fads by studying sheep. And it has the sort of like, it's a really, really good book. And yeah, I think the thing that we've lost a lot, and I think it's not just about Citizen Sleeper 2, but about a lot of things in like the way we talk about science fiction at the moment, is that we've kind of lost the idea of social science fiction a little bit. And I'm like, we should bring that back.
I like that.
We should be bringing that back and like looking at things of like science fiction viewed through that like social lens, rather than the idea of like, it's so much more than laser guns and spaceship fights, right? And it always is, even if you just look at kind of hard sci-fi. But even if you're looking into, more different approaches to the genre, I don't know. Read Bellwether.
Yeah,
it's super
good. I've added that to my list.
Nice. Just everything getting added to lists everywhere. So this podcast.
Right, that's me with my first one.
Nice.
Liam, you want to go again?
I'll be quick. My next one is Wanderstop. This is by Ivy Road. It's on PS5, PC, and Xbox. This game, I think it's made me the rawest I've ever been on this podcast talking about it. Listening back to that episode, it's a bit like, overshare much. But
no, it was such a good episode. I loved that conversation around it.
It was I would recommend going back and listen to our Wanderstop episode. I think all of us had such unique perspectives on it. So this is a game by the creator of the Stanley Parable and the Beginner's Guide and the writer of Gone Home and Tacoma. You play as a warrior who starts to lose, even though she's never lost before. She's been an undefeated champion. So she tries to go and find a master warrior to train her to be better again. And she ends up getting stuck in the woods with Best Boy Borrow, a beautiful, beautiful human being
Borrow,
who runs a tea shop in the middle of the woods. And the game is about stopping and what that means to stop. And I just think that this was the most emotionally charged experience I've played this year. I'm trying to think of Citizens, like there is some links to Citizen Sleeper and this in terms of how I had a big emotional response to them, but I think this one hit me personally way more, so it's skewed slightly. Like I'm kind of stuck thinking that this is better because it impacted me so bad, or so hard rather. But I just think this is a really special game. I think it kind of dropped off very fast, and that's a shame. But it's also quite exciting to think that people might just quietly discover it over the years moving forward, and it's probably always going to find the people it needs to find for as long as it's available. And I just think it has memorable characters. I think it has gorgeous music. And I do think about it once a week. It's not my Minority Report. It's not every day. But I do think about it at least once a week. And yeah, I think this is a really beautiful, special game. And it's okay that no one talks about it. It's mine. It's all mine now.
Oh man, I was going to say this was also my second pick, but now I feel kind of guilty about it now. So, yeah, no, I mean, again, we talked about this on our episode about this. I definitely, as you say, found this game at the exact moment I needed it, and as such, it is definitely up there for me for certainly the most impactful like gaming experiences I've had this year. I also think it's a shame that it's dropped off so much. Like, I don't know, I definitely can't be. I mean, what is objectivity in art? But I seriously can't be objective about this game just because I sat there like, I'll play a couple of hours for the podcast just to say I've picked it up, but I really don't feel like it. And I went from that to I have played it in its entirety in a week, and like I felt like the game was speaking directly to me, and it was very important to me, and like where I was at the time emotionally, and so yeah, it's up there for me, even though it's sadly kind of dropped to mid-table of this year's releases because some people really didn't get on with it too well. No. But
you can say her name. You can just say Rachel.
Hello.
I know, I felt like mid-sentence I was like, this sounds like a call out of Rachel specifically, which I don't mean it to be. But yeah, I mean, like this is one that I'll replay at some point, no doubt. Probably the next time I burn out, which is kind of a sad, maybe, but would it be the same to replay it if I was like super happy and in a chill and good place in my life? I'm not so sure.
Well, I guess I was in a chill and happy place when I replayed it, but it's still connected to that part of me that was very much still in there. So
yeah, absolutely. But also, I think I do think about it not as much as I thought I would when I finished it, but every time I kind of go back to it, I just have this sense of peace, like the art of it and just the environment of it just makes me feel calm to imagine myself back in the woodland
agree.
with Borrow,
Oh.
drinking tea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might not be like up there for me, but I'm happy that it's in our like collective. We're chatting about it on this podcast. And
Yeah, I get that feeling a lot with stuff you guys pick, to be fair. I'm like, it's not my thing, but I love that it's your
absolutely,
thing.
yeah.
And like,
I do feel that about Blueprints, by the way. I'm not that like.
No, you don't.
No, you do.
No, you don't.
Everyone knows you
No,
don't.
you don't. You want to punch Simon in his little child face. We all know that.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I don't like the game.
Who doesn't want to punch that kid?
Yeah, little colonial shit. His little hat.
He owns a mansion. He'll get over it.
Oh, Tory.
Let's stop talking about punching a 14-year-old. Canonically 14. Don't do anything to him.
Has it dropped off? It's. I guess people aren't talking about it. Yeah, that's actually kind of sucky. Has it dropped off more than like other games that we've talked about?
It's a good question. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's the same as everything else we've spoken about.
To be fair, I'm mostly going by the fact that I've been deep in Metacritic stats for the last couple of weeks, and I've seen just how far it's slipped down compared to some other stuff.
Got you.
I mean, I don't know how much that reflects the conversation, but then I think people are kind of using that sort of thing as a resource in a year that's already been really packed with like very good new releases. If you just pick the top 10 things on Metacritic right now, you're going to have a really good time, and I can see why maybe like a lot of stuff is getting buried. That's kind of there's this, and also Lost Records, which is another one I'm not going to bring up today, but I did personally enjoy quite a lot. That's just hovering so far like below the surface. Like,
Liam, are you bringing it up?
I'm not. Can I very quickly apologize, Rebecca? Because in our Discord earlier, you mentioned twice that you were going to speak about Wanderstop, and I've just trampled all over your point by talking about it first. I just missed you saying that. I'm so sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. It's like, it's fine. I'm glad that you did, because you created a really good jumping off point, and then we had a good chat. That's how we do this podcast.
Thanks,
it's like, if two people want to talk about something, that's how it should work. And also, you give me lots of space to get on my soapbox in a minute, so that's all good. I
don't know what that's a setup for.
Oh, do you want me to start it?
Yes.
Yeah, go on. Let's do
Go
it.
for it.
Nice segue. So the third game that I have kind of identified as being up there in my indie game of the year candidates is a game that I am really not very far through. But I sort of started catching up on it recently because it's been in like the conversation. It was until bloody Breath of the Wild came and like absolutely messed up all those game what was it? All those Metacritic rankings that I've been looking at. It was in the top 20 releases of the year still. It was number 20 at the point where the Switch 2 came out.
It was holding on.
Which is the 100-line Last Defense Academy, which I really debated for ages whether I was going to talk about this or not. Yes. But then what I eventually landed on was it is broadly the same sort of setup as Lost Records. I'm like, if we can talk about a Don't Nod game.
We can talk about 100 Line.
I think we can talk about 2Q games as well. They're in a similar situation, right? They've split off from like a big publisher or a bigger publisher and like become an independent entity that still kind of collaborates with bigger publishers. I'm like,
approved.
Sure, we can talk about this.
Approved.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about it, buddy? Because I want to hear you talk about it. So as far as I'm concerned, you let me talk about Claire Obscura. So
and I loved hearing it. But the thing with 100 Line is it kind of, I've known for about a year, I've known that this game was kind of on my radar. Obviously, it's a very me thing. It is the new game from the creator of Danganronpa, and like I loved Danganronpa and just finished that trilogy. So I was like, well, perfect thing to jump onto. It's been a weird experience for me because I like played a demo at Next Fest in, I want to say probably the February Next Fest. And I was like, yeah, this is really cool. This is doing what I want it to be. It is like doing Danganronpa essentially as a turn-based RPG, which I'm very into those at the moment as well. So that's really cool. Kind of went expecting like, I'll catch up when I catch up because no one else likes 2Q games. Like people are very vocal sometimes when you talk about 2Q games or, Spike Chunsoft, they're like, oh, those are just like so niche and weird and you should stop talking about them. And then all of a sudden people are genuinely like, this could be an outsider game of the year candidate. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, great, I got to jump in. I can't leave it till Christmas. It's going to be my Christmas game, but fuck it, we're going in. And yeah, I've only got to the point because I somehow managed to lose my save from the demo, even though it was meant to carry over. That probably sucks. On me. So I've only really got to the end of the demo again, but I was able to play it a bit more slowly because I wasn't playing it to any sort of like deadline because I was writing about the demo when I played it the first time. And it's an interesting one for me to bring up because I am kind of so in this that I don't even know how I feel about it yet, let alone how I feel it should belong on the sort of Game of the Year list. I'm just so interested to see something that I thought was such a niche target specifically at me actually even glance at the conversation more widely. So that's kind of where I'm at. It's very self-referential. It's a great... It's come out at a great time for me personally, which is, it feels even more weirdly targeted because it's just like, you have to be so in the Danganronpa lore to get all the jokes. So it's a great game to pick up 2 months after you finally finish that trilogy. It's so, I mean, not like super detailed references, but the whole kind of setup is, I would say, generously an affectionate tease to all the people who played V3 and went make Danganronpa 4, and he just spent 60 hours telling you why he didn't want to make Danganronpa 4. Like, so it kind of it literally starts identically to a Danganronpa game. And at the point where all of the kids in the class are together and like are being told, this is the situation, you're all here in this school, this is what's going to happen, they all start gearing up to kill each other. And then the weird little headmaster thing is like, no, you're a team. You've got to go out and fight these monsters that are invading.
That is so fucking funny.
Like, what is this? What is it about? Like, what is the game? I've got no idea.
So, the sort of setup is that you play as a young man who is growing up in Tokyo, but it's a sort of slightly maybe post-apocalyptic future Tokyo, which is like under a dome, and like life's normal as long as you're under the dome, but no one's ever been outside it that he knows or can remember.
Right. And
sometimes there are just like these massive raids and everyone has to go to these underground shelters to hide from something that is happening in the world.
Right.
At one point he ends up, I can't remember quite what the mechanism is, but he gets caught up in one of these raids. He's not in the underground shelter. He's like trying to find his friend. And he ends up fighting these like robot monster things that start attacking the people who don't get into the shelters. He then gets approached by this really gnarly and fucked up little gross thing. It's just like a blob, but with a visible brain and heart in it. Because Tokyo always have to have the most fucked up looking mascots in the world. And it's like, he's like, hey, so I've got this like injector thing. Stab that into your heart and you will get superpowers for like 20 minutes or whatever, because you're one of the chosen ones who can operate this special like super soldier drug, essentially. So he does it. You like fight off the wave of robots who are attacking your friend, and then classic Danganronpa style, everything like shuts down. You wake up in a classroom with 15 other people that this has also happened to.
My God.
There is one absolute fangirl who's like, we're all going to have to kill each other. We're going to be told to murder each other. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be great. I'm so excited. Who are you going to murder? Who's everyone going to murder? And then,
God's sake,
really
the little
love
thing comes.
That.
It's so self-referential. Yeah. And then the thing comes in and is like, no, these are your teammates.
Hold on.
And yeah, it's called the 100 line because the thing that you're told at that point is that every 100 days they grab another group of people off the street and they basically like conscript them for 100 days to defend like this barrier that's keeping Tokyo safe. And they're like, no catch, you just have to defend it for 100 days and then you're free, you go back to your life, it's all going to be fine. That's as far as I've got. I suspect that there's going to be some twists and turns. I know this is a very long game. It has something like 100 endings.
What the fuck?
Because I think it has like a different... I think, as I understand it, and I'm still very early in this, I think that there's like a fail state for every day, which has a different ending, which is like scripted to some degree. I don't know.
Oh my God, you are being serial. Like 100 unique endings.
Yeah, 100 unique endings.
I actually know a little bit more about the ending part of this, and it's actually way more involved than what you think, Rebecca.
Yeah, I have not. I've got a vague sense of it, but no real idea of where it's going yet. And I'm kind of in the mood where I'm like, I want to actually enjoy this one and play it for myself, because like the time for sort of detailed criticism on the annoying thing about like the role of games media is that I just don't have time to play this and critique it professionally. And so I might as well play it and enjoy it in my own time. But also I do want to bring it up on things like this podcast. But yeah, I mean, it's literally just taken one of my favorite game series from the last few years, stuck the game mechanic that I've got really into over the last few years onto it. And somehow it's the secret sauce to get a creator I've always liked his first kind of Game of the Year tip-off. I'm like, what is happening? It's wild. So
love that for you.
That's a great.
Do I recommend it? If that's all stuff you like, then apparently a lot of other people like it too. This is the part that is shocking me.
From one hyperfixation straight into another one.
Yep.
Yeah. Wild.
I also love
Absolutely
this
wild,
for you.
but-
And everyone who's been enjoying it. Because like you say, people who are in it are like, this is so good, you need to play more. It's like it's like blueprints for the weebs. Because it also is over 150 hours long and there's more to it than you expect. But
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah, I know a little bit. I know enough to know that there's as with blueprints, there's the ending, but there's not the real ending. And then there's like, you can get to the next ending and maybe that's where you want to leave it, but you can keep going past the next ending. That is the extent of my knowledge of it.
I'm looking forward to you checking back in
just-
and telling us how it's going when you next pick it up. And
Yeah, I want to know what all 100 unique endings. I want you to go through them
ranked.
Oh,
all 100
Ranked!
endings ranked.
Ranked.
Oh, yes. Hell yes. Commission me somebody. I'll write it for
Me?
you.
I will commission you for this podcast.
Wild, yeah. Anyway, it's a weird one to bring up because I feel like I have no conclusions to bring. I know I've only just scratched the surface of this game, but it is just a surreal feeling when you're like, my niche, it's just me and like 3 other people huddled up in here, and then you're like, there's so many other people in here, and it's like almost getting a word of mouth buzz, even though it launched quite quietly.
Yeah.
It's, anyway, that's where I'm at.
Oh, that's awesome.
Love it.
I'll check back in 6 months to 2 years,
Oh,
depending
God.
on how long it takes me to play this thing.
Should I talk about my second game?
Please do.
Go ahead.
My second game is The Alters by 11-Bit. I love 11-Bit Studios. I loved This War of Mine. I love both Frostpunk games. And now I love The Alters. In this game, you play as a builder who is, well, he crash lands on a very hostile planet and soon finds out that all his crew had died. Ooh, no. So when he makes it to the base, which is a giant hamster wheel, he has 2 problems. The first is that the sun is coming and the radiation is going to kill you. You better run away in this giant hamster wheel. And the second problem is the ship needs a crew. He has no crew. He has 1 person. And prompted by a big bad evil corp, he clones himself. He goes to a machine on the ship and decides to clone a second version of him, an alternate version of him. And this game is a base builder. It's a survival sim where you are running away from the sun, collecting resources with a crew of you. There's maybe 7 or 8 of you at one point, all different Jans. His name's Jan Dolsky. Base building survival wise, this game is great. I mean, 11-Bit have had more than enough experience making really increasingly difficult and, cascade of calamities in Frostpunk and This War of Mine, and the Alters is no different. You literally have shit breaking all the time. The sun is coming, resources are running out. But it kind of counters that with a really solid base building system. Like, if you know, it doesn't cost any resources to move your ship around. Like, you can organize it as much as you want. So if you know, the girls know, they know. Yeah. So it's just got some really nice base building aspects to it. The survival aspect is really cool. You actually go out onto the planet in third person and mine for resources. The planet is beautiful. There's lava rivers and caverns you have to explore. You have to upgrade all your tools so you can traverse it in interesting ways. But here's the thing. The story of this game is why this game is fantastic. Not only are your alters clones of yourself, they're from different timelines of the main character, Jan. So every time you make an alter, you need to kind of work out what kind of alter do you want. If you want a scientist, you need to shuffle through Jan's life to where he went to university and he graduated and he did his PhD in this, and you will create scientist Jan. If you want miner Jan, you need to choose a timeline in which he didn't go to university. He stayed at home and he followed in his father's footsteps of being a miner. And all these different characters are just they're you, but they are far from you. And I think the way the alters kind of you have this crew of people who you know kind of well, but they are so far different than your personality. And the way you get to know them is just so personable. Like, you can chat with them. Obviously, they're a workforce, so you assign them stuff. You assign them work to do. But underneath this all, it's like this tension of like, well, these are different aspects of me and different lives that I chose. Or in inverted commas, because it never actually happened. Like, this is all simulated, but they're real people. So there's that weirdness to it. And then underlying all that is the fact that you're dealing with a labor force, and essentially like this big bad evil corp is like asking you to do stuff, and they're kind of shady, and you kind of like have to protect them and make sure like all their needs are met on the ship, but also like protected from being exploited. And it kind of puts you in this weird labor force situation where, because Frostpunk is all about that. You are the boss of a city, and unfortunately you're like sacrificing people left and right because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. But in the altars, like, what if all those people are you? Like, what if you, like, and it's very existential in that way. It's like, and some of the questions it asks and some of the story beats and where it goes, it's just like really, really smart, because they're taking something that's quite classic in sci-fi, like cloning and like, oh, is it you or not you? Are these people real people? But like, it's like done in like such a different way than what I've seen before. And it's just such a personable game. Like, I just couldn't help thinking like, oh my God, what would my altars look like? I like how it takes these really rules-based systems and finds the emotion in them. Like, in a lot of survival and base building, you are just like eating resources and people are, you know, characters or worker drones are just like whatever. But here, like, you actually care about them because they're you.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really good. And there's lots of different endings, multiple Yans that you can create. So I need to replay it again to see different timelines and stuff. Yeah, I just think it's and again, another very humanist sci-fi game. Like, you're playing as a builder. Like, when he lands, he's literally just like a space builder. He's like, I can build stuff. I'm good at that. I cannot pilot a ship, research stuff, mine the desert, the planet like surface. It's just, I love it. It's just really great. 11-bit. You've done it again, babes.
Nice.
Oh, I love their games. Great.
They never seem to miss,
man.
and I was very excited to see yesterday that this is unlocked on the Epic press account that we have. So I would definitely be giving it a try.
So far, looking at the games we've mentioned so far, this is a good group. This is like a really nice...
Yeah.
I think this
like,
year
I
is
know
a
I said
banger.
it at the top of the episode, but it's a good start to the year already.
Absolutely.
And I know we've got a couple more that you guys want to talk about before we move on to the second section. So
I've only got one more, really. How many do you have, Rachel?
Well, mine's...
Yeah,
you go and then I'll finish.
Which one is yours?
Promise Mascot Agency.
Let's just talk about that together and then end it there, I think.
Yeah, okay. Wait, what was your other one? Yeah.
I was going to talk about Skin Deep, but I spoke about that so much 2 episodes ago, so you can go listen to me talk about Skin Deep 2 episodes ago. I kind of want to talk more about Promise Mascot Agency, because I hadn't finished it the first time I spoke about it, so...
Okay,
and it is my game of the year as well, Promise Mascot Agency.
Is it? Let's get into it. Pop off, girl. Go for it.
No, you go first. You go first. You talk about it.
It's a great game. What do you think?
I think it's pretty good. Rebecca, part 2.
Yeah, okay, I can jump us off, because the things that all mine have in common, weirdly enough, is just like creating communities of weirdos. And I think that the queen is Promise Mascot Agency on her throne. I don't think it'll be my game of the year, but I fucking love this game. Again, Liam, when you were playing it, you were like, oh, it's a bit different. It's a bit different than Paradise Cut. I don't know if you're going to like it. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to like it either, because I played the demo. It didn't quite click with me, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. And now I'm so happy. I'm so happy that it clicked with me and I loved it. Oh, so yeah. The story of Promise Mascot Agency is you are a Yakuza. Oh baby boy Mitchie.
Beautiful Mitchie.
Beautiful Mitchie, who, oh God. What happens? Something happens with his Yakuza, and then he has to go to Kasomachi to help rejuvenate the town.
The family lose billions and billions of yen in a deal between 2 Yakuza families, but a third Yakuza family like intercepts them and steals the money.
Yes.
So he's exiled to Kasomachi, which is a rundown like island-based community where there's a curse that says that any young Yakuza men that go there will die a slow and painful death.
Yeah. And so the way he starts like making the town better and earning money is to like take the rundown mascot agency. Mascots are real in this universe, as horrific and grotesque as they are. Love that. Complimentary. And with the help of a severed pinky finger called Pinky, who is an absolute icon, the two of them get this mascot agency up and running again. So essentially this is a management sim, but also there are story, like there's like a really heartfelt story about it. And yeah, like I said, it's about community. You're like building up this like team of like kind of gross, but also really endearing mascots. And all their storylines are, again, like the alters, they don't feel like a workforce, even though they are working for you. Like, you genuinely care about them. And the way the story kind of plays out is that they all each have their own arc and wants and needs. And so it's not just about assigning them roles, but also making sure that they fulfill, like, their wants and desires. And because you love them and want the best for them because they are amazing, and I love them all so much, you do that for them. And for me, the landscape, like just like Kaisomachi, is just, you can like physically see improvements in the town. And I think with other management city improvement sims like that you might find in the cozy genre, you don't really see that as much as you can in this game, and not just through like its environment, but the people, like the characters in this game are so endearing and they're just so charismatic, and you just want to help them. Like, you genuinely want to help them. And yeah, I just think it has meaningful choices. It's very approachable. Like, it's a management sim, but it's not like the alters. Like, you'll have a breezy time with it. Like, I remember, Liam, you were like, oh, there's like a daily thing where you have to, I was talking to you and I was like, there's a daily, like, I had to keep sending back money to my Yakuza mum because like they're going to kill her. And you were like, don't even worry. Like, that's fine. And it was fine. And I just think it's, Kaizen is just like, this is the freshest game. Like, I've never seen anything like this before. It was the same with Paradise Killer. They just the games are just like, so, and not just bonkers, like, I just love the way the stories they're telling, and I've not seen it told in this way anywhere else. Like, it's so unique. Oh, what a game.
That's my lasting impression of it, I think, is that the way it tells its story is, I don't know, it's like, it's a Ubisoft map clearing game, but every map marker feels like it actually contributes towards the overall goal.
Yeah.
In a way that gives it an absolutely like intoxicating sense of momentum and pace, that there's always some little thing to do that is generating stuff that feeds into the overall like pipeline of the game world. If that makes any sense. Like,
no,
yeah, you might knock over a sign of the current mayor or clean a shrine, and you're getting little percentage points towards your mascot agency that's making things a little bit easier, and you're getting more money and finding collectibles that let you send mascots off. You're collecting the trash, yeah.
Because you can physically, all these things, it's not just like a menu like or a percentage, it's like you can physically see like improvements. Like,
it's cleaning it up, yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
That's what I loved about that. I can't remember if I said this on the episode where you had this as your hyperfixation. You do see improvements, but not in a way that's like, oh, suddenly the downtown district is thriving and there's loads of lights and people, you know, it's like minor changes. It's, this was dead, but now there's a couple more businesses there and a few more people in the shopping district. It feels more realistic in a weird way. And it's a really, really beautiful thing. I loved this game so much. I did play it so much, though, over the course of about 4 days that I had this thing where I kept waking up in the middle of the night after 2 or 3 days of playing it, and I could just hear, almost to like an audio hallucination level, the music that plays during the mascot minigame.
Yes! Oh my God.
It's like, wah, 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 do, 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 do.
You gave yourself the Tetris dreams of Promise Mascot Agency.
I did, but it's like not, the music in this game is good, but that bit is like a little bit rank when it's 3 a.m. and
it's
you've got
catchy
work
as
the next day.
Fuck.
It
bounces around in your skull. Like, it's that is
like a pinball in a machine. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, loved this game.
And that is so true.
I'm going to be such a sicko for this when I
You
get around to
are.
playing
You
it.
really
So I
are.
tell you guys that I sat down with my Steam Deck and couldn't decide whether to start Citizen Sleeper 2 or Promise Mascot Agency, so I started 100 Line.
Love that.
Mistake, but also brilliant choice.
You will like it.
Yeah, and it's like a lazy, like what you're saying, Liam. It's like you're not making the town better. It's still like a lazy town, like a vibe wise. Like it has the same vibe as like a faded photograph. Like it looks.
Oh,
but
I love that.
But it's gone from like somewhere that was like not looked after to it's the same, but it's just being looked after now. Like that charisma hasn't changed. Like the nature of the town and why it's like nice. What's a good word? It's just not lost its personality. It's the same person, but she's had a little glow up, but she hasn't had her identity completely erased.
Well, what I think, linking back to what you said was the thread that ran between your games, the reason why it starts to thrive is you connect people together again.
Yes!
And you prove that like humanity is the source of all community.
Yes!
And I think that's why it has lasted in my brain.
God damn it!
Aw.
You don't expect that to be the crux of it.
And like in Yakuza media, it's all like for the family. But here, it's like legit. Because it's like,
agreed.
like those are Yakuza elements. They're like super dramatic and exaggerated here, which we love. But it's like it still has what Yakuza stories like. It still has that core. It's so great. It's such a good
Agreed.
game. God damn it!
It's the best.
So good.
Kaizen! The best. And they're so lovely. They're so nice.
Yes, you spoke with them. Oh,
Good eggs.
God damn.
You want to know what else is really nice? Is that if you count Claire Obscure and Split Fiction at the top, we've now mentioned 10 games as like games of the first half of the year.
Nice.
Oh.
Which is super nice and neat. That pleases my brain.
Me too.
In a like, I think, and if you were to show me that list and say like, are these the top 10 games of the year so far? I'd be like, yeah, probably, actually. You know, well, that's really legit.
And we've been speaking about these all year. We're on it, listeners. Our fingers are on the pulse.
Yes. We did a good job this time. Let's take a 10-minute break.
Yes.
IRL.
Yep.
Go pat ourselves on the back, get some water. And when we come back, we can talk about the games we're looking forward to in the second half of the year, and like through the magic of editing, it should be instant for the listeners.
I'm going to go piss, listener. Think about that during this sting.
Yeah, water in, water out. Water in, water out. It's hot.
No pee pee poo poo time. Deleted.
God damn it, I thought I could sneak that in.
Oh, for once I get in on it, and now we have to delete it. That's just so
Fine.
tempting.
You do that to Rebecca? To Rebecca? To me, I understand.
To me?
But to Rebecca?
You know I can't do that.
All right.
Okay, Rebecca, it will stay in.
And we're back. Seamless.
Look at that.
Damn.
Seamless.
Wow. So seamless.
So seamless. I really want to make a wee joke, but I think Rachel will tell me off again.
No wee jokes.
Oh, dear.
Go on, one wee joke. I'll allow it.
Yeah, go on. Start us off.
I didn't actually have a wee
Go on,
joke.
Liam.
Simply talking about weeing is funny to me.
Just talking about wee is funny to me.
I kind of wish that the first game that I had to talk about for this half was a bit more irreverent, because I feel like I could seg it in quite nicely. It was actually...
What with
Yeah,
piss?
no, there's no.
My
there's
first game is
nothing.
Piss
There's
World
nothing.
by Piss Development.
I mean, if Aquapark Tycoon drops in July, maybe.
I would play a game called Piss World by Piss Development, and I'd be like, it's actually
I
a
know you
beautiful
would.
meditation on like violence.
It's about staying hydrated and bodily conscious and healthy.
Yeah. It made me
Oh my
cry.
God.
I get really upset on the podcast about it.
Pee clear, all cheer.
I fear that we've gone too far into this bit, and now you have to keep it in still.
Yeah. Oh, we'll have to keep it
Oh,
in.
dear.
God's sake.
All right. Well, yeah. Anyway, to try and assert some kind of order, it's never going to work. But anyway, here we go. So yes, now we move on to the games in the second half of 2025 that we're really, really looking forward to. I think that there's going to be quite a few games we mentioned here, but some of this we've probably talked about most of these before, so we'll We maybe won't linger on all of them. That's never going to happen. I know us. But let's just start going and see how we go. Because I am surprised to learn that actually most of mine, in fact, actually have a release date now. Which I still attribute to the GTA 6 effect of everyone suddenly piled in and gone,
yeah,
hey, I don't have to launch up against GTA 6. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be even a completely like different genre indie. I can understand not wanting to be completely buried by the release of GTA 6. That's perfectly understandable. So yeah, all of a sudden, a lot of games that have been on my radar for a long, long time have got these release dates, and I'm very excited. I know you guys have got some as well that don't have release dates just yet.
Yeah.
But shall I just quickly go through my list, because I think that's probably the way to do this like calendar thing, and then we can kind of pick out a couple to discuss in a bit more detail. Would that work? Do you think?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I've got 5 indies and like little double A's that I'm really excited for the remainder of the year. So first up, on August 7th, we finally got a release date for Tiny Bookshop, which has been one of my most anticipated games for the last 3 years, I think. It's coming out August 7th. I'm really excited. It just looks so wholesome management sim about opening a little mobile bookshop by the sea. And yeah, you really can't work any weird jokes around it, unfortunately, which is, if any of these games had been going first, I could have probably made a thing of it, but nah, it's not happening. Tiny Bookshop just looks so wholesome. Yeah. And I played a demo at that EGX we all went to when we met in person for the first time, and that was so long ago.
3 years ago.
And it was lovely, and I'm so excited. So yeah, that's on August 7th. Then on September 5th, 2 days after my birthday, because I'm a lucky girl. 2Q Games, makers of the aforementioned 100 Line, have only got another bloody game coming out.
Oh my god!
Called Shoot and Order, which I'm really excited for, not actually because it's a 2Q game, but because it's doing a thing that I've wanted to see done for so long, in that it is basically a mystery, as 2K games often are, but depending on the route you follow, it's 5 different genres for 5 different routes.
Oh my god.
What?
I love that idea so much. Yeah. I'm so invested.
That's
What's
a
it called
great
again?
idea.
Shoot and Order, so it's SHUTEN, an order.
Got it.
And yeah, so there's like one is sort of like a point and click. I think there's a horror one, there's a dating sim one, there's like a straightforward visual novel. I can't remember what the other one was, but yeah, there's like five different kind of adventure game subgenres all get addressed through solving this mystery, depending on like which suspect you choose to focus on, which I think is so awesome.
Oh my god, this slaps. This is amazing.
This looks so
again,
good.
It's Kazutaka Kodaka and his team. And like after 100 Line came out, there was a lot of stuff of them going, oh god, we just put all our money into 100 Line and like also Tribe 9, which is the gacha game they just did that's shutting down already because just there's too many gacha games out there.
Oh god.
And they were like, oh, 2Q is actually in real financial trouble. And I think that's probably still true, unfortunately, due to the absolute Shark Tank nature of our current games industry. But at the same time, they did kind of go, but we got another game coming out in September as a bit of a like, well, it's maybe not that bad just yet. So that was nice to see. Then right after that, September 12th, Roman Sands Rebuild, which I know I talked about the demo last year. I got very, very into that. It's got that weird Paradise Killer time loop, odd point and click mystery vibe. The more I know about this game, the less I know about this game, but I know I'm excited for it. You're a concierge in a hotel at the end of the world, and you have amnesia, and all of the guests are eccentric and horrible. And then sometimes all of a sudden you're just in like a post-apocalyptic wasteland in a little survival shell with a dead cow. What is happening? I don't know, but I know that I really dig the aesthetic and it looks right up my alley, and it's out on September 12th. Then Demon School. Demon School still doesn't have a firm release date, but they have recently released a trailer, I think it was, just to reaffirm that they still plan to launch in Q3 of this year.
Yeah.
They still exist. Come on, Demon School.
We talked about Demon School loads on this podcast, so I won't go into it very much, but again, it is proper supernatural high school turn-based RPG for sickos just exactly like me.
Is that a yawn during Demon School, Liam?
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Do you know what? Actually, that most recent trailer for Demon School, I thought it looked great.
Oh, are you back in?
I'm back in now. Yeah, I thought that last trailer really, it looks like it's had a lot of polish.
But
so.
we never left, but it's nice to have you back.
Hi, it's me.
Yes.
And Yeah, final thing, Paralives has announced its early access release date for 8th of December.
Wow.
What is with that word? 8th of December. Jeez. A word I can't say.
How many years has that been?
6 years in.
Jesus. And is the Patreon still going?
It is bonkers
God,
numbers.
How much fucking money are they going to make for that? Yeah.
About
£45,000 a month.
Yeah, it's wild.
What?
I think actually that's gone up, unsurprisingly, since they announced the early access release date. That's gone up quite a bit.
Interesting.
I think a lot of people have subscribed.
Fucking hell.
So yeah, as a pretty much lifelong Sims fan, I am naturally keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah.
The art style looks gorgeous. The environments they've shown in the launch announcement trailer look great. As with Inzoe and other stuff that I've been covering in the genre, like, you don't really know how it's going to feel till you play it, but I am really excited for I'm like, the character art looks really gorgeous as well, and I just think it's going to be nice to inhabit this world and like see what they do with the life sim idea for a bit. So that's going to be a good Christmas game, I think. If they make their launch date, that's going to be a really nice Christmas game.
I'm really excited for that one.
Yeah, those are my 5 anyway.
Nice.
All of which, other than Shoot and Order, all of which I've talked about a lot before on the show, so I'm not gonna linger too much.
Good indie games coming out this year. Holy hell.
Hell yeah.
I didn't realise Roman Sands had a release date, but gimme that.
Yeah, that was literally a couple of days ago.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Just for you.
I know, right?
Stay on the podcast.
I think I did a skeet about it where I was like, please, everybody, I love this, but stop announcing release dates, like imminent release dates for the games I've been excited for years, please.
Yeah.
So much.
Please.
Definitely excited. I think Demon School for me will be up there. Roman Sands, I'm so excited about
I think
as well,
that
though.
could be a bit of a sleeper
sure.
Oh, yeah.
Hidden gem material there.
Yeah, so what's everyone else looking forward to?
Should I just go through my 2 with that sim cadence? Because I think that
Please
was
do,
really good.
yeah.
So these are actually 2 games I played in the most recent Next Fest, which have rocketed to the top of my list.
Ooh.
So the first one is Ball X Pit by Kenny Sun. This just has a vague 2025 release date. Did either of you play the demo for this?
Ooh.
I
No?
missed Next Fest entirely this year because I was just so
Totally fair.
busy with other stuff.
So Ball X Pit is basically like, Breakout, that game where you got the paddle at the bottom and you're throwing balls up to hit the blocks. It's that, but a roguelike. And all of the blocks coming down are like evil creatures, and the balls you get all have different abilities that synergize with each other. It feels great to play. It looks great. The soundtrack is incredible. All of these horrible demons chanting along with the music as they march down the screen. And the roguelike element of it is that instead of you missing the ball and it being game over, is if the creatures get to the bottom, they whack you and take some health off you. And there's bosses. And one thing that was really fun is that it has a base building mechanic in between you being in the pit doing these runs, throwing balls around. And the base building mechanic is you place down like wheat fields and forests, and then you've got to bounce your workers at them. So it's like the same game again, but you bounce them to get resources that then let you get
That is
upgrades.
so fucking cool.
Great game. That's a Devolver published one as well, so that has real potential. And the second one I wanted to talk about very quickly is a game called Starbirds. This is by Tucana Interactive, who did Dorfromantic, my beloved Dorfromantic. And they're doing this in collaboration with Kurzgesagt, which is the YouTube channel that's all about like sciencey things and philosophy. And they have this really unique art style, which is like about birds, and it's very like deep purples and lush colors. And this is a simple twist on automation games like Factorio, where you're harvesting resources to build like research pipelines, basically, but you're trying to get your birds deeper and deeper into the star system. And the twist with this is that you resource mine from different asteroids and then fly the resources back to your base, like your mothership, or you send them to other asteroids to then mix with other elements to create more complex things. But what's nice about this is like, yeah, it's quite simple, which is nice, but it's also like really tactile and punchy. So you place pipes by literally dragging them and drawing them on the asteroids with the mouse, and you collect like money to buy things by placing down a little rover and dragging it with the mouse and like guiding it where it needs to go. So it's very playful and toy-like in a way that I really liked, and really captivated by it. Quite funny. The writing was quite nice with your little birds. I knew this was coming and I was excited because I love Dorfromantic so much, but really, really, really excited for this.
Ooh, Ooh.
Nice.
So you played both of those during Next Fest?
I did. I played them over the weekend, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
You're not scared about the demos potentially ruining?
Terrified, mate. Absolutely terrified. That's why I only played 2.
Yeah.
I saw there was a demo for Hotel Barcelona, the new game by Swery and Suda51, and I was like, I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'll play that when it comes out.
I always think about our conversation that us three had that one time we talked about demos, and then the subsequent games coming out. I played a bunch of demos, but I always think about them. I'm always like, should I? Ooh.
But then with your Paradise Killer and Promise Mascot Agency thing, where you played the demos of those and didn't like it, but then loved the main games, it can work both ways too, right?
It can.
Yeah.
It can.
What are yours, Rachel?
I'll talk about my 2. The first one is The Mermaid Mask by SFB Games, which is Detective Grimoire and Sally are back!
They're back!
And they are solving another mystery. This one is similar in mystery vein to Tangle Tower, in which it's kind of a locked room mystery. This time Grimoire and Sally are investigating a submarine. And so they're investigating a submarine. And the idea is that the captain of the submarine went into a chamber with a cauldron, opened up a cauldron, something happened, and he died. So it's a locked room mystery where, Sally and Grimoire are exploring the submarine. You get to pick out clues. You get to talk to characters and other crew members. And also there's a puzzle aspect to it. There was kind of Professor Layton where there's puzzles hidden in the environment, and to get evidence and clues and more story beats, you can do these puzzles. And the thing about these games they're just really well made.
Yeah.
The characters are all fully voiced. The animation is beautiful. Backgrounds are just so detailed. Mm-hmm. The dialogue between Sally and Grimoire is unmatched. They are the ultimate indie game duo. You cannot convince me. I just know that I'm going to like this game.
Yeah.
There is no part of me that's going to be like, oh, I don't know how it's going to go. I will like this game. I played the demo. I love the demo, and I have no worry about the demo ruining the whole game for me, because I'm going to love the whole game. I just know it. And I'm just so happy there's another one. Thank you, SFB, for making another Grimoire game. I'm just, very much looking forward to it. So that's my first one.
Love it.
And that is coming out soon. I think it's this year for sure.
Yeah.
But it hasn't got a date on it yet. So hopefully it will come out soon-ish. And my second one is Morsels by Fakula. That's being published by Annapurna. And this is a demo that I played because I was very much looking forward to this one. Played the demo. I'm looking forward to it even more. So please, may the demo curse avoid this game. This game is a really grotesque creature collection sim where you play as a mouse who has been bathed into a sewer and you need to escape. And the idea is that you collect these other very small creatures, and they essentially act you use them in combat. It's like a dungeon crawler. So you're making your way through these sewer environments, which are really disgusting. And you are using the powers of each of these creatures in your arsenal to overcome different obstacles, and there'll be different things. So sometimes it's a bullet hell level, and other times it would just be a boss level. And that's all good. But I think what makes this game really fun is that it just does look very pretty and also super disgusting at the same time. It's just so vivid in its colors, but the characters are grotesque. At one point you're between floors, you have you chat to different characters. One might be a shopkeeper, and there's one of them is just this disgusting rat in a horrible shredded outfit, and if you want, he'll throw you in a pit, and then if you defeat, it's a mini boss level. You defeat a bunch of enemies, you get money. And that's just so grim. And there's another one which is there's an alligator, and he just has this massive mouth, and you're just this tiny mouse. Anyway, it's just oh god, and this is, oh my god, the thing is, at the very beginning, every time before you start a run, there's like this kind of friendly. He looks like a giant turd. I don't know his deal.
I've seen that in the trailer.
He seems kind of friendly, but I don't know what his vibe is. The demo didn't really go into it, but like maybe he's helpful, but he's not eating me, so that's fine with me. The boss fight at the end of the demo was like a giant sentient burger, and it was like honestly fucking disgusting, but I was living for it. Like, this looks like complimentary, a Devolver game. Like, it looks like something Devolver would absolutely be Devolver. Like.
Yep.
And it's not. Annapurna snapped it up. So I wonder, because it looks like Devolver would be all over this shit. But yeah, I just think this game looks really fun, but it's the art that's really, and the character design that's really selling it for me. Like, I want to know more about this gross world. And it's grotesque, like Denzians. Like, it just really appeals to me. God, I'm watching. I keep getting distracted by the trailer because there's just so many, like... I've been watching the trailers, have been talking. Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
A feast for the senses.
Yeah, so... Yes! So this is out sometime 2025. No release date yet, but with the demo at Next Fest, a lot of developers tend to... Because is it true you can only release your demo, you can only enter your demo into Next Fest once?
It's
or is
weird.
That a lie?
It's very weird because I've heard it said, like, repeated among people who would know, like people who've had their demos at Next Fest say, but there doesn't seem to be anything to stop you. I think that basically if you have a demo up during Next Fest, it'll get caught in the filters a lot of the time, so you can kind of... I think you can kind of sneak your way into multiple... You're only really meant to do it once, but I think that you can get into multiple ones.
Because that's why developers started having separate demo pages.
Yes.
Because then you could enter that demo and still have your main games page separate.
Oh.
Maybe, yeah. That sounds.
I'm not sure.
Very plausible.
The game was supposed to come out in February, and then it got delayed. So hopefully it'll be sometime soon. But I'm very looking forward to this one. So we'll see how I get on with that. This is one that could go very south for me. I think the gameplay, as much as I love the art style, the gameplay needs to be there.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
With the roguelikes, that's the danger. Will it be loopy and repetitive, or will it be? What will it do different? So
yeah.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too. Yes. I'm excited for that one too.
So those are my two.
Nice. Very nice.
Games.
Wow, we have
good games.
Considering we spent like an hour and a half on the first part of this episode, we have rattled through those in 20 minutes. That's like, well done us.
Yeah.
25 minutes of that last part though was us talking about the Spice Girls. So
that is true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, to be fair though, I already took off the Spice Girl chat when I did my estimate of time. I think we got really excited. We got really excited about the games we've already played.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's, again, we've just been so on it this year. We've kind of already scooped up a lot of the talking points. We've been really on it this year, guys. Well done us.
We have been, yeah. Good, go for us. Yeah.
Let's go.
Round of applause to us. Well done.
Yeah. You know what? Working on appreciating my own wins a little bit more. So yeah, well done.
Hell yeah.
Well done, team. Yeah, no, if only half of these come out, I'll be really happy. If only half of these come out, I'll be considerably less stressed about playing all of them. But no, genuinely, I hope that they all manage to make their launch windows. And
part of me, it's not a good part of me, but part of me wants Tiny Bookshop to be delayed by another year, so then it's in our fourth games we're looking forward to for the year ahead episode.
So funny.
And I almost feel like even if it does come out, we still do it anyway because that might be quite
funny. Just
absolutely.
Maybe there'll be a tiny DLC. Maybe they'll
tiny DLC. We'll always say, I hope they do a tiny DLC for Tiny Bookshop every year.
Tiny DLC, new chapter.
Exactly. It's so cute.
That's good.
So cute.
Write that woman a check right now.
Genuinely, it's like tiny DLC. It adds one more genre. Just one.
One single book.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Support tiny bookshops, tiny artists. Anyway, I just want to keep saying tiny. It's a cute word.
Teeny tiny.
All right. Well, I think if we're happy with that, we've taken up quite a lot of these nice people's evenings, future listeners. Evenings, mornings, whatever, whenever it is for you.
It better not be daytime. That's what I care about. It better be morning or night and no other time in between.
How's the commute going? That's probably a safe bet as well.
Good driving.
Bonus points if you're listening at work And you're not
Hell
doing
yeah.
work, you're listening to us instead.
I love that.
Yes.
You win the
Yes,
podcast.
yes, yes.
Email us, contact@indieventurepodcast.co.uk from your work email address.
Yes!
We won't tell. We
We will
promise
not
we
tell.
won't tell.
I'll tell.
No, I support workers' rights, and that includes the right to not always be 100% on it, you know?
Love
That's
that.
like...
I support workers' wrongs as well. So
Yes!
Yep.
Workers'
Yes.
rights and workers' wrongs.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Right, shall we do some hyperfixations before we call it a night?
Yeah, I probably should.
Go on, then. Go on. All right. I'll allow it. Okay.
I was hoping you were just going to keep going there.
All right. I was so good. All right. Okay.
Oh, man. Can I go first? Does anyone mind if I
Please do.
Yeah.
jump in with mine? Because mine is like a nice little cheat because we had pleasingly nine upcoming games just now in our little roundup. I want to add a 10th.
Oh, do it. Yep.
Ooh,
As part of my
surprise bonus.
A surprise bonus, exactly, as part of my hyperfixation. So yeah, as I've been talking about in the last few episodes, I've been really into Otome games lately because I was playing Love and Deep Space for work. I have now finished that except for the endgame dungeons. It's like, even though they decided to bloody drop a whole new story chapter on us the same day that Elden Ring code came in at work, I was like, yes, no, I've got it done. So I was like, right.
Mm-hmm.
I was proper emotional at the end of the latest story arc, and I was like, I need something to kind of like carry me through this. And so I remembered that I have Bust Fellows on my Switch, which is another Otome game, which is like, Otome games are all structured quite similarly, but like the characters in Buster Fellows really actually reminded me of the characters in Love and Deep Space. So I was like, right, I'm going to go play Buster Fellows. And it worked because I wasn't as heartbroken about the sad cliffhanger in my live service Otome game. But then I just completely transferred all of that onto being like way too into Buster Fellows, which is just funny to me because this is a game that I played for 5 hours 3 years ago and bounced off of like, oh, I'm not like, yeah, it's okay, but I wasn't that into it. And now I'm like,
really?
the sequel is coming out on July 17th, and I'm like, I'm going to pre-order it. I'm going to pre-order a physical copy of the sequel to get the art book. I'm like, you know, that is how locked in I am all of a sudden. I'm like, yeah, my only conclusion from all of this is that if the Otome game lets me date the shy but kind doctor, that is what I am into. I have a type. And
yes, you do.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it is a good game. I think I bounced off it because I was just 2022 when I got it. I was just playing too much at once, and it was one of many games that I played for like a weekend and was like, oh, I'm going to go back to that soon. And soon was 3 years later, and I just restarted because I can remember I was like 5 hours in. Can't remember what was going on.
Yeah.
Genuinely though, it is one of many games that seems to start with the question, what if Ace Attorney was actually a dating sim like people kind of want it to be, and just goes so wild from there.
Nice.
So it's just how to like, just trying to encapsulate this game. You play as this woman who is a journalist, super relatable. And she is trying to investigate the murder of her brother, who was a cop. He was undercover in like a drug gang, I guess, and he was murdered while he was undercover. And so she becomes a journalist to solve this. And in chasing some leads, she meets this lawyer who then gets assassinated in front of her. And she uses no, you don't know that yet. She uses her time travel powers to go back and save him.
I did not see that coming.
It's incredible. It's absolutely wild. Because like the two of the main characters are just her best friends from childhood, and like everyone that she just casually has time travel powers. It's like, oh yeah, we've always just kind of known this is something she could do. Like she just does it. It's kind of cool. The limitations around her powers are she can only go back an hour, and she has to be able to hop into the body of someone else who is like at the place she's trying to go to and control them for an hour. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, she like
it's very unusual.
She does the whole Life is Strange bit to convince this guy that she's actually got time travel powers, manages to stop the assassination from happening. They find out who was trying to kill him. It's kind of the setup. but it's all part of a bigger conspiracy. But then her house gets like burned down or something, and so she goes to live.
She can't catch a break.
She cannot catch a break. This poor woman.
Catch a break.
Her house collapses. That's right. Just randomly, because her life is terrible. But then she goes to live in this like secret bad boy clubhouse that this like secret Robin Hood gang of this like crooked lawyer and his friends have.
God.
And it's just so like, it's not the greatest game in the world, but it is so good. If you're just in the mood for like a proper otome thriller that's like just super weird romance subplots, it's just so good. I was like, yes, this is exactly what I needed.
I'm gonna look up the boys. I'm going to look them up.
What do you think I've been doing for the last 5 minutes?
And I just the art style is kind of unusual because I don't think that they're that pretty in this game. I think they're more interesting looking than like she's really pretty, but like all of the guys kind of look. They're kind of like they got that sort of Dishonored style. Like the arms are a bit too long and they're all just like a little bit strange looking, but like in a way that you kind of.
No one really stands out to me immediately, to be honest.
No, that's the thing. It's like, it took me kind of a long time to get into it enough to be like, because they're all kind of like slightly shady. They're all a bit shitty as well sometimes, but like you get into it. And
the guy with the grey hair, I think I'd go for him.
Yeah, I would be so. I know that you have this game, right? So
I do have this game.
If you play.
No, I can't.
But the thing that I realised a bit too late really is that I think you're meant to play all of the routes up to the end game and then like just pick one end game route, because I was like, oh, I'm on a route, so I'm just going to follow that. And you get like a full romance arc, but only a fifth of the mystery arc if you do it that way. So I need to go back and like see the rest of the mystery at some point. But I'm interested in the sequel, which is coming out in about a month, because they've done with a visual novel what you can't usually do in this sort of scenario. And we're just going to write a different sequel for every ending. And you can just get the sequel and play like the follow-up to whatever ending you saw. Which you can't usually, it's usually quite prohibitive, obviously, to do that in games with branching narratives. But because it's a visual novel, they've kind of like figured it out. Which is great. They're like, I think it's going to be quite like episodic. So it's just like 5 episodes, but they're all following on from the 5 endings rather than...
that's a good way of doing it.
I think it's like an interesting and cool way of doing it. So I'm excited for the sequel.
I'm going to have to play this.
That's my bonus recommendation is that Buster Fellows 2 is getting an English localization. It's actually been out for like 2 years in Japan, but it's getting an English localization next month.
Nice.
There's a bunch of other like side games that haven't been localized yet, but apparently they're thinking about like starting to do some of them, which would be cool because a lot of the characters drop in and kind of feel like they have a lot of significance and then don't really do anything. I'm like, I wonder if these are the characters from the spin-off like and prequel and side games.
I've also heard that the protagonist in this one is actually really good, and she's not
I
just
like her a lot, actually. Yeah, she's pretty. She like looks and sounds like a little girl, but she's quite sassy and she doesn't sort of put up with a lot of shit, and I ended up liking her.
She's not so blank that it's like, okay, I get it's in self-insert, but like this character is literally nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's no, I thought she was quite a strong character in her own right, which I did enjoy as well. Cause... Oh
God, I'm at that age now as well, where they're all younger than me.
I know.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this is the devastation of hitting your mid-30s and realizing that characters in most video games.
One of them's 22!
Most video games, but especially Japanese games, no one's allowed to be over 30. No one at all is allowed to be over 30.
Rachel, like, melted off her seat there like a cartoon character. That was very, very funny to watch.
God, Jesus. Oh, God, 22!
I know.
Yeah, I'm out.
She's like, the protagonist
their brains
is 21.
Haven't fully formed yet.
The protagonist is 21, and I'm like, there's no way, like, realistically, I know she's been going back in time a lot, so she's probably a bit more than 21, really, but, like, she's not, no one has that level of, like, self-possession and maturity at all.
Here's the dilemma. I picked the oldest one, who's 28. So for me, as a 30-year-old woman, that's great. But she's 21.
Yeah.
So do I want to pick someone in-game, which is who's more appropriate for a 21-year-old? Or do me, a 32-year-old woman, I have to pick him? Surely.
You've got to meet them and find out the ways in which they're all awful and find out which kind of awful you can forgive is the starting point, I think.
This is why I play games like Shotgun Cop Man, so I don't have to deal with these kind of dilemmas.
Right? But that that butching though, it's kind of hot. Satan's kind of.
Uh-oh. How old is he? 6 million years old? I'm only 32.
Oh.
Yes. So there we go. That's me. Still just absolutely on the Otome train.
Rachel, what's your hyperfixation?
Mine is very short. I've just been watching a bunch of movies. My hyperfixation is just I'm watching more movies. That literally is it. So at the beginning of the year, I was like, I hate all movies, and I'm like, actually, movies are fine. Again, they're good.
I love this arc for you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about. I've talked to you about some of the ones I've liked, but I'm watching maybe like one a day. I have a nice routine going. So a couple of my ones that stick out to me were the Spice Girls movie. Yeah. Saw Clueless for the first time. Loved that. I liked, what was it I said? Oh, Longlegs I really liked. I watched the Before trilogy and it was fine. If you love podcasts, pop off, but...
The Before trilogy?
Yeah, so it's like Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight.
Oh.
I've never seen the third one. I liked the first two, but I never did see the third one.
It's two people chatting the whole time, which, you know, each to their own. It's quite sweet.
Yeah, they're cute.
Yeah. Death Becomes Her, which was cunt as fuck. I have no idea why I'd never seen that before. And then just a bunch of other stuff, which is not worth mentioning. But yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm just really trying to reconnect with a media that I just felt really, Marvel movies.
Yeah.
So you get what I mean.
I do.
I get. Even I've bounced off Marvel now.
I just felt really disconnected. It was a medium which I loved and really enjoyed, and I just felt really disconnected from that for the last couple of years. I think video games replaced it for me, and now I'm just trying to what is the film landscape like? What's happening? But yeah, I'm just watching a bunch of movies. They're cool. Movies, yeah, pretty good.
Movies, good. That's a thumbs up from Rachel. Movies, pretty good.
Pretty good. Liam, what's your hyperfixation?
I'm going to apologise in advance for this.
Oh, is this the scripted thing?
Yeah.
I had entirely forgotten about this.
Nearly got away from it. So, I was going to talk about the Switch 2, but here's the thing about the Switch 2, is everyone has been such a bore about it online that's for me. I'm not going to talk about it. I like it. That's for me. I forgot I wasn't a games journalist anymore, and I'm under no obligation to be part of the discourse. So, instead, I was doing a bit of a clean out of my Google Drive the other week, and I came across a bunch of old scripts and things I'd written years before I even started my YouTube channel, or before I kicked it back off again and renamed it a 7 out of 10. And this was something I wrote in 2017. And at the time, I didn't know what to do with it. And I looked at it the other day and it made me laugh, which is never a good sign. But I was like, I've thought about this. It comes back in my mind sometimes of I always wish I'd done something with this. And I thought, well, maybe my hyperfixation is I just read it out on the podcast in a silly voice. And I thought if I did it as a hyperfixation as well and went last, not many people will still be listening. So I just bury it at the end. But I get the benefit. I know we have high retention.
Yeah, we have a really high retention. It's great.
I know. Well, let's see if we keep having a high retention after I do this. So do I have your permission to ease my hyperfixation of finally getting this off my chest after 8 years since I wrote it?
Yes, please. I'm so excited.
Absolutely.
For this.
Okay. Yes.
So this is a performance piece by character actor Liam Richardson called 5 Video Game Characters I'd Like to Kiss. And what I'd really like you to remember as I read this out is that I was still a closeted bisexual when I wrote this. God. And it is very obvious that I was about to break free.
Oh my God. It's like your diary. I feel like you're reading your diary.
Incredible.
I'm not ready for this because it's 10:15 at night and I'm not. Oh, my Mac is not charged. We're fine. We're good. Okay.
Are we sure?
If my Mac dies, then it's what should happen. Okay. Let's see if I can do the voice that I was practicing earlier in the kitchen when I came home from work. Hi, my name is Sanguine Cream Dream, and boy, I sure do love kissing things. Nothing makes me happier than puckering up and planting a big old slobbery smooch onto the lips of someone who wants a nice little bit of lip licking in return. You name it, I've kissed it. A car? Yes. A human being? Well, I think that goes without saying. A dog? Yes, but in a normal, affectionate peck on the head way, and not in the way your tone implied when you asked me that question. Behave yourself. Tragically, despite years of trying, there's one group of infinitely kissable things that I can't seem to plant a single peck onto. Video game characters. It's a source of constant disappointment for me. Not a day goes by that my lips don't get all moist and kissable at the mere thought of giving a real tender lip cuddle to some of my favourite folks from video games. Buckle up, buddy, because in order to offset my perpetual smooch struggle, I'm going to give you a list of all the characters I want to give a right old kiss to on their lips and or faces, but nowhere else, because that's probably a bit too much for when you first meet someone. Number 1, Victor Sullivan from the Uncharted series. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sully is well high on my kiss list. For starters, not only has he got that silver fox thing going for him, but his countless years of implied womanizing has undoubtedly made him into a walking smooching machine. If his lips could talk, which I mean technically lips can talk, but I mean his actual lips and not like his whole mouth, just his lips, I bet they'd have 1,000 sloppy stories to tell about other lips that they've gone and done some kisses onto. Not only that, but his mustache looks like it would entangle itself into my beard as we're smooching, which would legally make us face married, and that's one hell of an added bonus. Number 2, Reaper from Overwatch. Really dating this is 2017 here. Reaper is perpetually miserable and hides his lips behind a skull mask, probably because they're always contorted into a grumpy little grimace. Well, let me tell you, grumpy lips are prime smooching potential as far as I'm concerned, and to get a chance to give Reaper a big old taste of my puckered face clam, don't like that, would be a dream come true. Maybe I'd even give him a death blossom, which is both the name of a special move in the game and a clever way of saying erection. I'm sorry, my humour's changed over the years. Number 3, Margaret Baker from Resident Evil 7. Oh, shush, I know what you're thinking. Margaret Baker is spooky. Why would you want to wrap your lips around something that gives my Hebes a right good dose of the jeebs? Well, the answer's surprisingly simple. Margaret spends most of her time in Resi 7 chasing protagonist Ethan Winters, around. And while most might find that intimidating, I find it well sexy. Nothing gets my kiss glands all nice and juicy like the thrill of the chase, and if it's a literal chase, you'll have to grab a mop because I'll be gushing red hot kiss liquid from my smoochable mouth as soon as I start to giggle and totter down a dilapidated corridor. Also, Marguerite can summon an army of flying insects at a moment's notice, which means that while we're getting down in Face Town, she can have her army of flies give me 1,000 tiny kisses all at the same time, the thought of which is so appealing, I need to go and have a lie down. Nearly done.
Yeah, no, you said number 5. Keep going.
Number 4, Gordon Freeman from Half-Life 2. As far as I'm aware, Gordon Freeman is just a huge pair of lips running around City 17 with his tongue wrapped around a crowbar, and no one better correct me because I don't want to be told I'm wrong. Honestly, it's no wonder everyone in Half-Life 2 wanted to give Gordon the Lips Freeman a big old slobbery kiss. If you saw a huge pair of human mouth bits wobbling towards you down the street, and your first instinct wasn't to pucker up and get kissing, you're a liar, and you need to seriously reevaluate a large number of things that you probably believe define you as a good and normal member of society. Number 5, the big house from Final Fantasy VII. If there's one thing I love running my mouth muscles over, it's infrastructure. There's not a council building in this most united of kingdoms that I haven't shown affection to, despite the desperate pleas of local members of parliament, random passerbys, and, thanks to a viral tweet, whoever runs the Wendy's Twitter account. But here's the thing. None of those houses had little legs sticking out the bottom. You're telling me that in the highly lauded RPG Final Fantasy VII, a game full of very kissable people, let me bloody tell you, there's a house that could not only run towards me, but hold me in its stumpy little window arms and plant the softest of abode smooches onto me with its door, which, as we all know, is the mouth of the house. You're all thinking it, I'm just brave enough to say it. Right, that's me off. Thanks. Bye.
Incredible. Thank you. So genuinely thank you for sharing that with us.
You have a beautiful way with words.
I just so much of that had the vibe of just kidding, unless, which I really, really appreciated.
So,
do we need this massively IP violating dating sim? Because I think we do.
Maybe this is a twine game I need to write.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it might be.
We need to publish this on the site. I want to say that.
Right? Absolutely.
I want to publish this on our website. I need to read it again. I want to hear it
article?
Again.
Yes. Yeah. Our listeners deserve that as a blog piece they can refer back to when they want.
For an article about kissing, the number of ways you describe that single act is so fucking impressive. Like, what the fuck?
All right, so 2 things about this.
Amazed.
One, thank you.
God.
You're both too kind. I feel like I exercised something from my soul by reading that out loud, and I do feel like I blacked out halfway through. Number 2, what's interesting about that is that
God.
I remember when I first started writing this, and I remember saying to Yoli, like, I'm like noodling away with something. What do you think? And like wrote a bit out to her. I read a bit out to her. She was like, I just like, it's all men, and I'm sort of worried that maybe you're like taking the mick out of like gay men. And I was like, I don't think that's true, but I guess I am a straight man, so maybe I should put a woman in there, which is why I think I put Marguerite Baker in, not knowing that there's a part of me deep inside that was like, oh, maybe you just want to kiss the boys and that's okay. Like, maybe you're just like, there's a part of you screaming inside of you that's saying like...
That's what makes this so endearing, is that, that it was that person who was writing this. Oh, God, it's so it's so cute.
Yeah. Well, thank you for letting me read that. That's more interesting than talking about the fucking Switch 2. So there you go.
100%.
Oh God!
Anyway.
That's what a great note to end on.
I know.
That was
right?
amazing.
I don't think there's anything I can say to outro this. I think we should let it speak for itself.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. See you next time. I've just realised the funny thing is our next episode is going to be like going back to the one we recorded like over 2 months ago. It's going to sound like we were just so knocked out by that ending. They were just like, we need a fortnight off just to recover.
Or if we're all still recording, you should leave this in. You two, when I leave the call, the two of you are like, what the fuck was that? We need to like cancel the next few to work out how we deal with this. It cannot become a place for him to read out his silly little jokes. That's not what this podcast is.
I even in jest, I can't say it. I want you to read out your weird scripts. We loved it.
I want more.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Maybe published. I'm being serious.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe do leave this in because actually, it's probably a good idea to give a heads up that it's a bit of a different episode next time while we just have a bit of a break comparatively, to be honest. But there will still be an episode in 2 weeks' time, but it's going to be one we recorded a little bit earlier, just while we all have our summer holes and chill out a bit. Except for Rachel, who's absolutely in the middle of it.
The opposite of a holiday.
Yes.
It's an in-person episode that we did when we were together in May and or March, whenever we saw each other, and it's all bullshit. It's just us riffing, basically. Bullshit. It's not a single video game is mentioned.
It is 100% cold open.
Yes, it is. It's whoops, all cold open. That's what that episode is.
Oh my God! Yes.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Indieventure is a video games podcast created, produced, hosted, and edited by Rachel Watts, Rebecca Jones, and me, Liam Richardson. For more information, including a list of every game we mentioned in this episode, make sure to check out our website, indieventurepodcast.co.uk. You can get in touch by sending your questions, comments, and feedback to contact@indieventurepodcast.co.uk. You can support the show by rating us 5 stars and leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or your preferred podcast provider of choice. Some of the games we talk about on the show may have been provided to us for free for review consideration. Our intro music and stings were composed for us by Ollie Newbury. Check the episode description to hear more of his excellent tunes. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks for another episode of Indieventure. Bye for now.